Hi guys, my name's Adele Onyango and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Well, hello, welcome back to my podcast. I hope you've had a great week. I have had such a busy week and I'll break down everything that I've been up to. But I did go to Accra, but I got back and I immediately started pushing Perspective, which is my other podcast, and it's recorded live with a live audience, and it's a podcast on gender issues, right? So I needed to push it via, various interviews on radio stations and on a TV station to get as many people coming to be part of the podcast as the audience. Entry is absolutely free. If you're in Nairobi, Tuesday, 6 p.m., come through to Clubhouse, K1 Clubhouse. It's in Parklands. And yeah, we'll have a really good time. If you're listening to this on Thursday or on Wednesday, well, it already passed, so maybe you'll make it for the next one. But so that has been taking up most of my time. I have to admit, I am really nervous. First, I hope everybody that's coming arrives on time. And I know that's something that I can't control, but my anxiety is just like, please guys, come on time. And secondly, there's going to be many people in the audience who are going to be coming for Perspective for the first time. And so I hope they really enjoy it, imagine. So I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous about the conversation and I hope it flows as smoothly as I've prepped it to. I'm just nervous and anxious, rolled up in one. It gets so bad sometimes that I get home and I just want to sleep because that's the only way I can turn off my mind. I'm just let me just sleep. Please send me your good vibes. If you can't be there, just be send those good vibes my way. But I think it's normal when you've created something that's almost like your baby. It's, creatives, you're attached to everything you create, right? And so you just wanted to prosper, and all the fears around that are so real, but I think it's normal. Just make sure it doesn't cripple me. But anyway, so there's that. So I've done a couple of radio interviews, which is interesting because now I was on the other side of the radio studio. I wasn't the interviewer, I was the interviewee. But I think it went pretty well. So shout out to everybody who gave me an opportunity to be on their show. Also, this week, I start my consultancy job. I feel like such an adult saying that. I'm I'm a consultant. I've unlocked a new level of adulting. But so a couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half or 2 months ago, I was part of the Africa Women in Media conference. The organizer, I think a night or two before the actual conference, invited me for dinner. She had landed in Nairobi by this time. She's from Nigeria but lives in the UK. And she was like, oh, let's go for dinner at one of my friend's houses in Nairobi. So we all went for dinner, and it turned out the lady was the owner of one of Kenya's top magazines, right? And it's been top magazine for eons. Anyway, so she's talking to me. This is my first time meeting her. She's talking to me about, moving her magazine into the digital age, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just having normal, or what I think is a normal conversation. And then she's like, let's swap numbers because I think you can help me with some stuff. Fast forward to, let's say, 3 weeks ago, we're talking, we have a meeting, and now she wants me to help her set up a new youth platform. And I think it'll be really fun. It's a nice challenge, and it's something that I believe in because I love working with the youth. I'll keep updating you on this new adulting level that I've unlocked. So Monday, 5:55 a.m., I landed back in Nairobi from Accra, Ghana, which is one of the best places I've ever traveled to. Accra is just so beautiful. The people are so warm and so nice. So the first time I was in Accra, I was only in their airport, right? And it was the worst experience ever. I was coming back from London. So I was going London to Paris, Paris to Nairobi. But my London flight was delayed. So by the time I got to Paris, I'd missed my connecting flight. I was at the airport, nobody speaking English, so frustrated. And I become such a drama queen. When I'm frustrated, my husband could talk. So I sent him a message because now I'm just fed up. I'm like, they're not telling us how they're going to reroute this flight. I really want to get home. I'm not sure about my luggage situation. Where is it to begin with? And I sent my husband a chat. Looking back, I'm just like, why was I being so stupid? I'm like, if I never see you again, just know I loved you. Imagine. And all that's happening is that I'm just kind of stuck in an airport. Of course, they're going to reroute me, but I was just so sick of being away from home and from the people I love and from the people and things that I know and my bed. So I literally just walked up to the guy at the counter, and I don't even know to this date if he understands English. And I was like, excuse me, monsieur. Okay, I didn't say that, but I was like, excuse me, I really have to get home. And I don't want to stay here at night. I don't want to do it. I can't. Put me on the next flight that gets me as close to Nairobi as possible. And he's like, okay. So then he put me on a flight from Paris to Ghana, and then I was going to connect from Ghana to Nairobi. How is this flight from Paris to Ghana delayed as well? I was just like, what the hell? It's delayed a bit, and we finally get on the flight, and I'm pissed as hell. I'm not even eating food at this point. I'm just like, I just want Nairobi. Is that so hard to ask, guys? I just want Nairobi. And at this point, I don't know if my luggage is on the flight with me. I'm just tired, and I've done so much shopping in London. But I was like, you know what? I just want to get to my home. If it means I get there without my luggage, it's all right. On this flight to Ghana, the woman seated beside me, I think she was Ghanaian, and she starts speaking to me in a language that I don't know. They brought us food. I'm not eating because I'm pissed off. I just want to get home. She starts speaking to me, and she's older, so I'm thinking she's checking on this young girl, like, are you okay? Nah. So I tell her, okay, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm from Kenya. I'm not from Ghana. And then she says, oh, I just wanted to know if you're going to eat that, and proceeds to eat my food, guys. So already I'm just like, Jesus, take the wheel. We land in Accra. I jump off the plane, sprint across. I pass one of their desks. The lady's taking 10 years to clear me, and I'm trying to tell her I need to get across here because my next flight to Nairobi, I'm literally like 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes. So please just let me go. Anyway, long story short, I get onto the flight to Nairobi. Get to Nairobi. First, I just looked like hell. Like my wig was at some random angle. I just looked like I'd come from a storm. And I'm like, okay, where's my luggage? And the guy at the counter is like, well, they say they loaded it in Ghana, but it looks like it's not here. I was like, no shit. Of course it's not here. So it was a back and forth, and I lose it. I start lying. I'm like, you know what, Kenya Airways? My medication is in that suitcase. And if I die tonight, my blood is on your hands. Yeah. So I cause a ruckus. My husband is outside, like the glass screens at the airport. So he's seeing this drama and he can't hear anything. It's just like, what the heck is happening? I leave without my luggage, but my luggage gets here the next morning. Was it the next morning? Yeah, the next morning. So whenever somebody would mention Ghana, that was a memory that I would have. So fast forward, so that happened in 2017. Fast forward to this year, I get an invite by Facebook. So they want to celebrate young Africans who they believe are icons of change. And so it's a great thing. And I'm like, oh, this is so humbling. Like, what? This is so great. And they're like, yeah, we want all of these 40 young Africans that we've selected to convene at Accra or in Accra in Ghana for like a small summit thing. And we get to know each other and we go through workshops and panels. Accra, I'm like, PTSD from my last encounter. But I was like, I must make new memories. So I leave for Accra on a Thursday morning. And because I'm flying Kenya Airways and I have zero confidence in our national airline, I pack 2 outfits in my hand luggage backpack plus shoes. So I'm just like, if you all lose my luggage again, I'll be okay for 2 days. Then you have to get your shit in order. Yeah, so I pack hoping for the worst, get to the airport, expecting the worst, but everything is on time. So going there, everything is on time. I'm like, all right, not bad, KQ, not bad. Let's see when we arrive if my luggage is going to arrive with me. And I get to Accra. It's about a 5.5 hour, close to 6 hour flight. I get to Accra and my luggage was there and I'm like, wow. But anyway, on the flight there, I am seated at the window seat. It's a 3-seater side. So I'm at the window seat, there's a guy in the middle and a guy on the aisle. And the guy in the middle is a guy called Steve. So I realized when we were taking off, he is trying to get a shot of the wing as we take off, which is obviously hard because I'm at the windows. So, we start talking because it's a bit awkward. Somebody's hand is in your face. You might as well become friends. And when we start talking and he tells me it was his first time in Nairobi, he came with a family that was celebrating their grandmother's 70th birthday, I think. Yeah, so he was contracted to shoot their holiday, which I thought was cool. I was like, what? Those are some good levels. Even me. Next family holiday, we need to get a whole team to come and shoot it, make a production of it. Anyway, so we begin talking, and one of the typical questions that I ask is, so what can I do in Accra? I'm only here for a very short time. I leave on Sunday evening, and he starts giving me tips. He's like, oh yeah, there's this street festival called Charlie Water, just giving me ideas of places to go. 6 hours later, we arrive in Accra. And I just thought, because what would happen in Nairobi is like you'd swap numbers with someone and then you'll just WhatsApp them, go to the national park, go to blah, blah, blah. So he is like helping, right? And he's like, you need to change money. Okay, let me show you where the Forex Bureau is. I go outside, get to the Forex Bureau, change my money, come out. And he's like waiting. It was me and 2 other girls from Kenya who were also part of the Facebook summit. He's like telling us, yeah, where's your hotel? Okay, your hotel is here, Sawa. The street festival is this far from you guys, blah, blah. I could walk, but maybe you can't. No. Like, he was just being really helpful in a way that I've not experienced in Nairobi. Then we left and we said bye. And he was like, okay, let me know on Saturday. Once you're done with the summit, maybe we could take you to the street festival. I'm like, that's so nice. Anyway, so we get the hotel. I call my husband and I'm like, oh my God, I met this guy and he's being so nice. And, Nairobi has conditioned us to be so untrusting. So even I was on edge. I'm like, why is he helping me so much? I knew it wasn't an issue of being hit on because he spoke about his wife and his kids and stuff. And my husband was like, does he want you to pay him? Which is a thing that would happen in Nairobi. Actually, Nairobi has made us so untrusting of people. It's so terrible. But I love that this experience made me remember that there's some really good humans out there. Anyway, so we get to the hotel. We're staying at the Kempinski, which is fantastic. However, since I extended my trip by 1 night and the organizers weren't going to cover my accommodation for that night, I was going to leave Kempinski because Kempinski money is a lot. And on booking.com, I'd found another hotel. Day 1, we're at Kempinski and it's fun. I get to meet all of these amazing Africans from Nigeria, South Africa, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Kenya, of course. And there was a girl from Madagascar. It was just so amazing. And they were all doing some sort of social enterprise, also charged up and so warm. We're in a WhatsApp group, all of us together, and the love, you can just see the love is there from that short summit. And so what would happen is we had workshops on how to boost either our businesses or our programs using Facebook. We had panels. I was on a panel and the audience was made up of students from Ghanaian secondary schools, and we got to talk to them about setting up a social enterprise or programs to solve community issues. It was just so fantastic. But day one of the summit, it started so early, my God, I had to wake up. Anyway, when we were done, we went out for dinner, and the dinner place had this band that was performing. And one of my friends who was part of the 40 Young Africans label, we left him in the club alone. Can you imagine? Because he would not leave the dance floor. And he ended up going out clubbing to a place called Republic. I'm telling you this because it's going to make sense in my story. So that was day one, Friday. Saturday is the last day of the summit. So most people are leaving Saturday night. So we do the morning sessions. And then I'm like, okay, let me check out and check into the other hotel I'd booked. Because remember, I don't have Kempinski money. So I get a driver from Kempinski. I'm like, cool. And I show him my booking.com app. I'm like, this is where my hotel is. I want to go there and drop my luggage and then come back here, reconvene with my friends who were still around because their flight was much later. And we were going to go and check out the street festival. So my first red flag should have been that this Kempinski driver, who's been driving in Accra for 6 years, has no idea about this hotel. But I'm like, whatevs, let's go and find it. It must be there. I've made my booking. And we're driving, get lost, stop. We got lost like 2 times, asked for directions. Even the the guys who were passing by the car had no idea where this hotel is. So now I'm like, hey, okay, but we've come this far. We must find it. So we're driving. And then we turn onto this very gangster looking area. So I'm like, hey, bro, it cannot possibly be here. But I'm also catching myself because I'm like, Adele, you can't judge a place by the way it looks. So I'm having those internal conversations with myself. And then we get to Said Hotel. Even the driver asked me, Madam, do you want me to walk you to the... like to the entrance alone? I'm like, no, I got this. You stay in the car with the suitcase and you just like monitor. And there are 2 men who seem to be fighting right outside this hotel. But I'm like, no, I think they're having a spirited debate. As I get closer, jabs are being thrown and I can sense like these guys are not sober. That short walk to the entrance of the hotel, I made up my mind that I'm going in to cancel. Because I was like, nope, not happening. So I get in, and this hotel does not look anything like the photos on booking.com, guys. As in, it does not look anything like it. So I'm like, what the? Where are they? What is this? So I get to the counter and I tell the guy, yo, I made a booking for tonight, but may I want to cancel. And he was so calm, like he had done this before, because his first reaction was like, okay, give me your phone, let me give you the Wi-Fi so you can cancel. Imagine if there was no, madam, what can we do to make it? No. That's when I was like, this is a scam. Anyway, so I cancel, I get back into the car with the driver and I tell him, we're going back. We're going back to Kempinski. At this point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to fork out this Kempinski money. Because you see, like when you're traveling, first, traveling as a woman alone, you're already on edge, right? You're just like, anything can happen to me. Secondly, I had my valuables, my passport, my blah, 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 blah. I was like, I need a room where I can put it in a safe. Like, and then I was just like, this is not the time to now be trying to look for Wi-Fi, because I didn't have a SIM card. I was like, to look for Wi-Fi and start searching for other hotels. I was just like, I just need a secure place for one night. Like, that's it. That is it. So went back to Kempinski and I was told that the chick at the counter, I was like, yeah, I just checked out. I'd like to check back in. And then I was like, now we can start enjoying Accra. So Steve, the guy I met in the airplane, was going to come with his crew because he works with like photographers he works with, and he came with another model chick. They were going to come and meet me at the Chale Wote Festival. So it's a street festival that is so fucking fantastic. And it has so much art. People are drawing on the road, like literally on the tarmac. People have dressed up in wearable art and they're walking around. There's music blaring and the kids are dancing. You can get your face painted. So the first night that we go a little late because it's good to go during the day so you can see all the art and all the color. So we go a little late, and I went with most of my friends who were going back to South Africa because their flight was at 10 p.m. So we were getting to the Chalewote festival at about 5. Yeah, so it was already getting a bit darker. So we ended up going to a stage where musicians were playing, and behind the stage we were like, oh wait, there's the beach. Then we went to the beach and we just turned up, and we met so many people at the beach. It's like a club at the beach. We met a musician from DRC, and we just stopped to take a photo with him and his crew because they were dressed so in urban African. They were looking so cool. Anyway, so we took a photo with him. Turns out he's a really big deal in DRC. He's called Easy Montana. Randomly, we were doing you have to take photos for the gram. We're taking photos. And we hear some Africans besides us. And they're speaking a language that my South African friends recognize. And they're like, hey, are you from South Africa? Yes. And there's another chick from Rwanda, another one from Uganda. It was a convening of African countries. So it was really fun. And then Steve, the guy I met in the airplane, and his friends came. So he came with another photographer friend who he works with called Berry, and a gorgeous chick. Her name is Freema. She's a Ghanaian model based in South Africa. And her energy is just amazing. So they all came together. We turned up a bit there because then my South African friends had to go to the airport. And then we went to Republic. Republic, if you were ever in Accra, is the dopest club ever. It's not even a club. It's just an experience, man. It's just an experience. And they're known to have some really, really good drinks. And I had one of their drinks, a kokroko, if I've said it right, and another shot. It's called the ginger shot. So this was us at Republic.
Okay, the name of the drink is Kokroko. And it has hibiscus juice and then cane spirit. Yeah.
All right.
And then a touch of mint.
And so we also have done a shot. What's the shot?
The shot is ginger and akpeteshi. Akpeteshi is the name for the local cane spirit.
So it's very potent.
It's very potent, yes. It is. You don't drink it and smile. If you don't make a face, then there's something wrong with you. Oh yeah, it has moringa in it too. There's moringa in it as well. It's very healthy.
So that's Steve and Freema explaining to me what exactly I was drinking. And let's just say, those drinks are lethal. Because I went to other clubs after Republic and I didn't have to drink anything. After having 2 kokrokos, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, and 1 ginger shot. My body was just like, enough. We have reached our limit. Got back to the hotel at 3 a.m. and then went for a cycling tour of Accra. Again, it was Steve and Berry who organized this for me. You see how the people are just so nice? Yeah, so basically you get on a bicycle. It's this guy called Mark, and he runs a really cool business where he does, on Sundays, bicycle tours of Accra. So you just get on a bicycle, and you can do it as a group, but I was alone, so I did it alone. And he'll just take you to various places. I knew the one place that I wanted to go to was the Osu Castle. So the Osu Castle it's a lot. Because, it was a castle, it's beautiful, it's dainty, it's white, but then there are dungeons where slaves used to be kept. And the slaves didn't even know that this castle was there because they were tunnels that they used to be transported through underground. Actually, one part of the castle has a church, a tiny chapel church thing. And right below it is a dungeon where the slaves were crying and they had no ventilation, no air. They would poop and pee in the same place that they were sleeping. No lights, yet on top somebody's praying. It's I don't know. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. And it makes you just wonder, as human beings, how the heck did we get to that point? When you come out of the dungeon, there's a door that is called the point of no return, or the door of no return, the point of no return. The tour guide, his name was Patrick, he tells me that. And so I asked him, okay, why is this thing called that? And he says, because as a slave, when you get to this point, you're not coming back to Accra. Yeah, so that was very heavy. So we cycled to the Osu Castle, to the Freedom Arc. And what I loved about Mark's whole cycling thing is that he takes photos for you. Like, he understands everything that you would want done. So you can really just focus on enjoying the ride. And it's also real Accra. You get to see all sides of Accra. And if you ever go to that place, just look for, what is his Insta? Yes, Accra Cycle Share _GH. You will not regret it. Anyway, so after I finish my cycle, Barry comes pick me up. We go to my hotel so I can check out. I leave my suitcase at the hotel, and then we go to the Charlie Water Festival. Now I'm there during the day so I can see all of the art. And the festival happens on a street, long street, like you walk. But there's art everywhere. There's people dancing. And also there's an old prison that's not being used anymore, of course. And in each cell, there's like art installations. It's just freaking amazing. There's this space where it's just graffiti. Like, it's a huge space. And they have been preparing for like 3 weeks, just doing this artwork, and some are even doing the artwork live there. And I shared this video on my Insta timeline. There's a guy who's doing live sculptures. So you sit and he does basically a sculpture of your face. It was so cool. And the area that the Charlie Water Festival happens is Jamestown, and it's known for boxers. Like, very many top boxers have come from that area. So randomly you're walking on the street at the festival and there's like a crowd and kids are being taught how to box. The energy was just so amazing. Anyway, we finish at the Charlie Water Festival. We go and meet Steve. He was at work. We go and meet him at a restaurant, have my final plate of Ghanaian jollof, which is just so tasty. And then pick up my suitcase and head back to the airport. So as much as I was there for a very short time, Accra taught me a lot. I think it reminded me that there are some really great human beings, right? We don't have to be so suspecting of everyone. Just because, like, Nairobi really makes you that. It makes you second guess everyone. It makes you not believe in the goodness of people, right? Just for being good's sake. Accra was a good reminder that not everybody wants to con you or do something bad to you. It reminded me how beautiful it is to be a creative and to create stuff just for creating's sake. So I'm glad that I went there. Now, when I'm in a creating phase, I really just loved it. If you ever have a chance to go to Accra, Aki, take it. Even if it's with KQ, will probably frustrate you. Just take it. So I've shared a pretty long story, but I do have a short 100 African story for you. And this I recorded in a cab on the way to the Charlie Water Festival with my South African friends. Remember I told you we left Lebo when we had gone for dinner on the Friday night, and he ended up going to a club, Republic? Something happened to him at the club that has had me laughing since he told me. As in, I was like, surely, were we in the same Accra?
100 African stories.
There is no proper life that you live in university as a musician.
If I constantly just walked around feeling sorry for myself, I'm never going to get anything done.
There was a bit of frustration in between all of that.
I've been breaking my back for this company.
Therapy is not for the weak or for the crazy.
Stories from Africa.
My night out, I was there by, what is this place? Republic. So it's a nice place. It's chilled, we chill with people. I was drinking there. So I'm a man, It was that time of the night, like, hey, my blood was running to the right direction. I saw this woman, I was like, hey, hi. And I was like, I want to have fun. It must translate. I think it must make sense to her. Yeah. And she was like, do you have $500? I was like, $500? No, comrade, I think you need to rethink your strategy. It does not work. Accordingly, I think we need to redesign the package. And then she told me all the benefits that come with that package. And I was like, leader, this thing, I know it. It's not supposed to be this way. Yeah. I just, and so obviously there's a follow-up question. So what does it entail? She spoke about massage. I was like, oh, massage. Do I really need a massage? No. I need a different massage. So that was the thinking, I'll massage, hold your feet. Feet? Hey, man, what is this thing? No, I'm like, no, it's fine. No, I was like, no, my sister, it's fine. I'm okay. I'll make a plan. There's other ways to outsource this thing.
Oh, wow.
And then, we have Wi-Fi. Yeah. So you can outsource now.
I am not proud of you right now.
It's fine. It's not be. Yeah. Look, man, I'm an honest person. I'm a human being. Yeah. It's unfortunate that I can't buy a toy of some sort, but equally, the reality is one must do what a man must do to get the struggle going.
Catch our next African stories in the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed this episode, my tales from Accra and Lobo's madness. Guys, remember that you can join our Insta tribe at Legally Clueless Podcast, and I'll keep updating you on the various platforms that you can find the podcast. I'm trying to add it on to various platforms so that you don't have to move from your favorite podcast platform to find it. And I'll be making those announcements as it's added on our Insta. So just look for Legally Clueless Podcast, follow, and join the tribe. And that's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.